Hello everybody! The Savior's Army is officially available for pre-order in ebook and paperback and hardback. And the hardback is so gorgeous. It has a beautiful jacket and an exclusive case laminate. Normally, I prefer paperbacks, but when it comes to this series, I am all about the hardbacks. On top of that, the pre-sale gift is finally here. If you pre-order the Savior's Army in any format, email your proof of pre-order to this email address. In return, you will receive a beautiful colored map of Thesson and the Ally Realms made by the incredible Subtle Touch Creations, a digital illustration of a super romantic scene from the Savior's Army, and a digital copy of the first 6 chapters of the Savior's Army for you to enjoy. That's 3 gifts as a thank you for pre-ordering. 3! So get on it now. On to today's topic. You already know that I'm currently in the process of drafting my very first romantic comedy or rom-com. Usually when I'm writing in a specific genre, I like to read a lot of books from within that genre so that I can research different writing styles, trends, and reader expectations. Thus, I've read a lot of rom-coms lately, and some of them are fantastic. But others suck, and we're gonna talk about those books. I'm breaking down some common tropes that I find in rom-coms that I just really don't like. Now for a few disclaimers, per usual, because you guys get so emotional over these trope videos. This is just my opinion, god. You can write this shit. You can enjoy this shit. I don't care. I'm not your mom. Additionally, I am a human being with ever-evolving tastes, which means one day I might love these tropes or even write them. Maybe. Probably not. But it is possible, so don't hold me to this list 10 years from now. Number 1, the quirky female lead. This is a character designed to be relatable to the every woman. She's eccentric, she's dorky, she's kinda crazy. And every woman should be able to relate to her because aren't we all a little weird in our own way? Except unfortunately for us, the quirky female lead has become absolutely insufferable to read. Every version of this character has the same 3 quirks. First off, she's clumsy, which is apparently mandatory. Second, she dresses kinda kooky, which usually means she wears hot pink sneakers to a wedding or a tiara to the grocery store. And lastly, she picks adorable fights about trivial matters, like who gets to eat the last donut, and who gets to sit in a particular seat even though there are many seats available. These are actual examples from rom-coms I've read, and boy are they riveting. I love it when characters argue about baked goods and chairs. As you can see, these quirks are repetitive, they've been done to death, and they're just not authentic. It pains me as a real-life clumsy woman to see clumsy ladies written as the worst pick-me's of all time. And the trivial arguments are terrible to read. You can see the author's intention. She's supposed to come across as feisty, but instead she just seems sophomoric. As for the clothing, it's giving she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. She's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers. And sometimes the fashion choices are so out there that it crosses the line from quirky to embarrassing. I've read multiple rom-coms where the leading lady chooses to wear a Halloween costume to a black tie event or while running errands, and then she wonders why no one takes her seriously. I am all for eccentricity. I'm autistic, for God's sake. But a 30-year-old Disney adult dressing up as Tinkerbell at work isn't relatable to me. And to be completely honest, half the quirky female leads aren't quirky at all, they're just idiots. And based on current events, we all know that stupidity isn't unusual. I'm not asking writers to create conventional leading ladies. I like quirks, but we don't have to regurgitate the same tired cliches again and again. Number 2, she's ugly, but he likes her anyway. Let me be perfectly clear. I am not saying that I dislike leading ladies who I personally find ugly. And I'm not saying I dislike female characters who aren't conventionally attractive. I'm talking about books where the narrative explicitly states that the character is ugly or dumpy, and books where the character herself or the love interest describe her as ugly or dumpy. I've also seen her described as looking like she has skin cancer or comparing her to a naked mole rat. But the tall, muscular, handsome leading man is gonna fall in love with her anyway. Sometimes it's because of her boobs, her only redeeming feature. Other times we have no idea why he falls for her. The plot wills it, so it must be done. This is another situation where I understand the author's intention. Most women, or people in general, are physically imperfect, but we still want to believe that we could land the perfect partner. But to call the character ugly or dumpy, Because it's relatable. That's what you think your readers will relate to. Someone horrid to behold. Just because I know I'm physically imperfect doesn't mean I think I'm ugly. And I would hope that other readers feel the same way. I'm not relating to this character, I just feel bad for her. She needs therapy and an ego boost. And why is she falling in love with a guy who calls her ugly? That's just a bad look. I love an unconventionally attractive or physically imperfect leading lady, but expressing this by calling her ugly seems counterproductive. Number 3, the male lead who's perfect on paper. Most of the rom-coms I've read have the same leading man. He's tall, dark, and handsome, but in a white guy way, cause he's white. He's got that Superman hairdo with the little curl in front, which personally, I'm a big fan of. He's perfectly chiseled and muscular, and you're gonna hear about it a lot. And he's a rich bitch. He either comes from money or he's a self-made billionaire somehow. I'm fine with most of this, except for the self-made billionaire thing. I can't really suspend my disbelief on that. But what else does he have to offer? Is he funny? Can he play an instrument? Does he have a pet? There has to be something else besides being hot and rich. Pretty isn't impressive. If I want to see a pretty man, I can just watch Heated Rivalry. And rich isn't a personality trait. I have money. If I want nice things, I'll buy them. So if you want me to get invested in a man, I need to know something about him beyond surface level features. This is a man we, the reader, are going to be spending a lot of time with. Hours and hours and pages and pages. We can't see him. He can't buy us shit because he's not real. Where's the personality? Where's the charm? I don't think it's much to ask to create a character who has character. That's literally our job. Number 4. They're just horny. Horny is perfectly fine for a romantic comedy. But remember, this is a romantic comedy, which means love. Sex and love are not the same thing. I'm going to need a reason these characters fall for one another beyond the tingling of their genitals. I've read a bunch of rom-coms where the characters' only chemistry was of the sexual variety. I recently read a book where the first 60% was exclusively devoted to how horny these characters were for one another. They didn't have sex. It was just non-stop horniness, and we had to hear about it. Now you might be thinking, let's be real, this happens in a lot of books beyond rom-coms, and that's true. The difference is other genres can sometimes get away with it. If you're writing a romantasy, the characters are doing more than just thirsting over one another. They're battling orcs, they're flying dragons, they're dodging death. That means we're not reading about boners on every single page. Our leading man has a wizard to kill. He'll get hard later. But with a rom-com, we're dealing with real-life, everyday activities. So if there's no chemistry beyond sexual attraction, it's obvious because pretty much every single scene is going to revolve around horniness. Listen, I love a horn dog character, but I can't read 200 pages of non-stop thirsting. It's boring. We get it, you're wet. How about a deep conversation? A moment of vulnerability, witty banter, something. There's gotta be some romance in the mix. It is a requirement of the genre. And last but certainly not least, number 5, when they're not funny. It's called a rom-com. Where's the com? I've read so many books that I assumed were contemporary romances, only to later learn that they were romantic comedies. And I would have never known because nothing was funny. This is also a problem in movies today. I'm sure you can think of a few rom-coms that have somewhat recently come out that weren't funny at all. They weren't designed to make us laugh. So why are we labeling all of these contemporary romances as rom-coms, like it's some kind of catch-all phrase? I'm not expecting slapstick or Dumb and Dumber level stupidity, but I should crack a smile or bark out a laugh a couple times at least. There's gotta be goofy content or clever narrative. Rom-coms are supposed to be silly. Where are the giggles? I'm just saying, if you're calling it a comedy, throw in a joke or two. Is that too much to ask? So that's all I got for you today. The Savior's Army is available for pre-order right now, and if you submit your proof of pre-order to this email address, you will get 3 special digital gifts in your inbox right away. Pre-order The Savior's Army, it helps me out so much, plus you'll be walking away with some great stuff. I've got it linked below. My second writing craft book, How to Write Romantasy, is currently available at all major retailers, so definitely pick up a copy today, especially if you are trying to write your very own romantasy novel. You will not regret it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays and I host live streams on Mondays, and if you want to be alerted as soon as I upload, ring that bell. Bye! Have you subscribed to my channel yet? I mean, you totally should. I post new videos on Wednesdays. I also host live streams on Mondays, and they're super fun. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and be sure to ring that bell. That way you're alerted as soon as I post new content.